Hey everyone, Reaper here again with another video. This time it is another hot books video. This is really a mixed bag. You know, some of these books could be considered hot books. Some of them, may also be considered books that, I think are worth getting sometime soon when you can get them maybe for a lower price. Okay, so it's a little bit of a mix. Now, some of the books I'm about to show you, I am sure all of you already know some of these are hot. I'm usually late to the game when it comes to showing what a hot book is or latest spec book. Nothing really new, but I'll still show some anyway. Okay, so we're going to start off with these two right here. Now, we don't know why these are. We have Thor number 8. This is when we find out. I believe it's this one. Is it this one or is it this one right here? Another hot book. When we find out that Jane Foster is Thor. I believe it's this one right here. And as you know, ever since the announcement at San Diego Comic-Con, these books started to heat up now that, there's probably going to be a female Thor, Jane Foster. So naturally, the books that highlight her as the female Thor are going to heat up. And these two right now, have picked up some steam and are, I think, averaging maybe around, $15 to $20 as of right now. But this is another one that everyone's going crazy for. This is, way back when what if Jane Foster was the Thor? So it all ties in to the announcement made about the new Thor movie several weeks ago at San Diego Comic-Con. Now, like I said, most of you already know these books are hot, but I just figure I'd make a video on them and show them anyway. So those are books that I would keep an eye on if you're interested in buying into all the speculation and all that stuff. Like I said, I think the other two, besides this one right here, I think this one right here goes on average, high grade. We're talking like 9, above 9.4. I think goes over $20. When you get to the 9.8s, of course, you're hitting probably well over 100. Same thing with the other one. I think that's maybe a little cheaper than Thor number 1. I don't know. This is the one that, it depends on what grade you get. If you're getting like 9.6s or 9.4s, it's going to cost you several $100s. At least right now, August 2019. Who knows what it's going to be a month from now, or a year from now, 2 years from now, whatever. But at least for right now. Okay, but I think a mid-grade copy goes for about $50. Maybe $60, but it's definitely one of the hot books right now. There are several hot books out. Unfortunately, I don't have them all. Here's another one that I think you should keep your eyes peeled for. I don't think it's necessarily hot, but it could be hot in the future because it is Tomb of Dracula 13. It is the origin of Blade. It's also the first appearance of Deacon Frost. Now, I think this book does have some potential as we get closer and closer. I mean, I don't know when Blade the movie's coming out. I'm pretty sure it's a couple years away. But as we get closer and closer to it, we find more about it. I think there'll be more interest in learning about the origin of Blade. I'm not saying it's going to go through the roof, but if I think you could still pretty much find this book sometimes. You can maybe stealth buy it and get it fairly cheap, and it might be worth looking into. Here's one that just picked up. Now, there might have been an announcement. I don't know, but I know this. My local comic book shop owner told me that this book was getting hot, and he was selling quite a few of them. They were in dollar bins. Well, not anymore. Silver Surfer number 81, the first appearance of Tyrant. Like I said, I don't really know too much about this character. He asked me, do you have any silver, my local comic book shop, he says, do you have any of these? I said, I think I have it. I have a bunch of Silver Surfer books. He's like, yeah, this is the new hot book because it's the first appearance of Tyrant. And I forget what announcement, where Tyrant's going to show up, in what movie, what TV series. I don't know. I don't remember. I wasn't really paying attention that much. But I knew to look in my long box for number 81, and yes, I have one. So I think these high grade are selling north of $50. But I still think you could find these cheap. You know, they're probably still tucked away in those long boxes in some places for $1 and everything. But if you see it, pick it up. It's First Appearance of Tyrant, hot book, or so I'm told. Here's another book that I think I don't think it's hot, but you know, potential. I think a lot of people saw potential in Marvel Spotlight number 28 with Moon Knight. You know, Werewolf by Night. Everybody's been specking on that book for the longest time, and that book is pretty expensive. Okay, and probably the next best thing is probably Werewolf by Night 33, right? Second appearance. But this one's also a good one, and I still think this one's fairly affordable. My copy's probably a 6.5, so it's nothing really to write home about. But I still think you could get this one fairly cheap, and I still think this one has potential. If Moon Knight is ever announced, of course his first appearance is going to probably go out of reach for a lot of people in very, very high grade. Even in low grade, that book is expensive. I have like a 4.5, and that's expensive. But when that happens, whenever that happens, Moon Knight, I think Moon Knight will eventually appear somewhere. I'm sure this one is going to ride on its coattails, so it might be worth getting. Everyone knows about this one. This is all old news. I hope I didn't show this in my last Hot Books video, but here we are. Thor 337, Beta Ray Bill. I know he's supposed to be in the Guardians of the Galaxy, the third one. I'm interested in that. I'm really liking the space stuff that Marvel's doing. So I'm really looking forward to it. But again, old news, but still a book that people are paying a decent amount for. So if you're interested in getting it, it's a good, cool book, right? Great Walt Simonson cover, cool character. Might be worth looking into and getting. Two more. Again, this one, I mentioned it earlier in the video. No shocker right here, right? Because of the movie, Tomb of Dracula. I remember I purchased this about 5 years ago. You know, I wanted to get the first appearance of Blade because I liked the Wesley Snipes movies, and I went and bought it. And this book was like dead for like the longest time. This was like almost like dead money. And now, overnight, after San Diego Comic-Con, this book shot up to a lot of money. You know, my book's fairly high grade. It's not super high grade. It's not like 9, north of 9 or anything like that. But it's not too shabby. So, you know, I don't know how much the lower grades are going for. I assume they're going for much more than what they were a few weeks ago. And the last one for this video, it's not a hot book. It's an expensive book. You know, people want it. Why did I put X-Men number 4 on here? I think it's because there's going to be continued story with Scarlet Witch, and I thought I heard a rumor that Quicksilver was coming back. I don't know how that's going to happen, but it would be interesting to see. But anyway, Scarlet Witch, I know she's going to have a little bit more of a part in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. She's going to be in Doctor Strange, right? So that keeps the interest in that character, who's a really cool character who almost kicked Thanos' ass in Endgame. And of course, X-Men number 1 everybody wants, right? But X-Men number 4 is a great one too. Like I said, because it has the Scarlet Witch, it has Quicksilver, but it's also the second appearance of Magneto. The Brotherhood, you know, you don't know where they're going to go with this. And this is a book that, you know, is pretty expensive as is in low grade. Mine's a 4.0. And that's, you know, it's not cheap, you know. But it's maybe one of those books that's going to become out of range for a lot of people, even in the lower grades, like 2.0, 3.0. So if you could get this for the right price, it's cool to have because of the Scarlet Witch, but I think it's even cooler to have because of the Brotherhood of Mutants, and you just don't know where. If you're really mindful of what's the next hot book, what's the next book that's going to be out of reach, not just now, but in a few years from now, it might be this down the line. So you never know. Well, that's my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully you have some of these books. If not, hopefully you could find some of them for cheap. And best of luck to everybody out there on the hunt. Thank you for watching, everyone. Take care.